I really, really like. I think I'm gonna take this off. These are the books for this month's TBR. Smile. I put this camera in 7 different places, and this is the best that I'm gonna get, I think. My bookshelves are in my bedroom, and there's just not a lot of space. The lighting is awful in here at this time of day. I would literally have to film at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't have time for that today. So we're here with a lot of lighting going on. But I wanted to film this video before we get like too into the month of January, because this is my January TBR. Thank you. I don't film a lot of book videos, but I really, really would like to start because I love reading, obviously. First of all, here's my bookshelf. She's beautiful. I just took everything off, dusted, redecorated, replaced everything like a month ago. Soon I'm gonna be taking my Merry Christmas off. I just really like it, so I'm giving it all the time that I can. If you see me looking this way, I'm really sorry, but my screen's right there. I have to see if you can see me. I'm sorry. Anyways, decorative wise, my favorite shelf for sure, my horror shelf. I love it. Love, love, love my horror shelf. I love the way that it's displayed. There is another item that goes right here, but I don't think that it'll be appropriate for YouTube, mainly because I think it would get this video removed because it is a... but it works because it's like an old vintagey looking one, so I really like it on the shelf. With all my horror, I do separate my shelves. I try to do by genre as best as I can. Up here, which you can't really see. Up here is my special edition of the Zodiac Academy and Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. These are all my special editions from Bookish box. They're currently covered, but normally they're displayed beautifully. And then on this shelf, I have my favorite young adult series. This is one that I just loved during my childhood. It's the Last Apprentice series. I've literally never even read all of the books. There's like 13, and like by the time I get to like 5, I'm like... But that will change this year. Anyway, I also have the Mortal Instruments, I think, in paperback, the ones that like it makes the picture. I have that up there. This is also my little snowman. I still need to cut the tags off of him. Don't look at that. But I love him. I need to name him. Right now, I'm thinking Bernard because it just fits. But I have him up there. He'll probably stay on my shelf all year because he's so cutesy. Then here, I have my, I want to say it's sci-fi, but then like a lot of these are also fantasy. Let's call it this. This is my academia shelf, either dark or light. These are all the books that I would read in a gothic, beautiful library. What's that one? Cambridge? Is that the one in London or whatever? That's like the vibe I was going for here, is very academia. This is my sci-fi. That's right. I had this planned out. Okay, this is my sci-fi shelf. So we have like Renegades, Martian, Red Rising, Uglies, very sci-fi. Here, this is my lit fic, and then just contemporary fiction in general. And then I also have my Bible and everything. But from here, it's mostly lit fic, and then there are some like memoirs. I have the J.C. Duggard memoir, Britney Spears, and then Tuesdays with Morrie, but I think that's really it. Oh, I also have behind it Ocean Vuong, but I like to display some books and like, okay, listen, the covers that I don't like, I just cover them up. So try and imagine that every time you see books that are like facing forward like this, they're behind. Because I was trying to get the most space that I had, but also like some books just don't have great colored spines or covers. But as you can see, like this, the more lit fic I get, the more I love these shelves. Everything is becoming cohesive. So I have like Hello Beautiful, which is like muted, colorful. And then I'm Glad My Mom Died, which is like bam, yellow. And then Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which is like rainbowed on the front, right? And Anne of Green Gables, this beautiful edition. And then I have the Demon Copperhead rainbow cover, the Bee Sting, which is like blue and pink. Like it's just becoming so cohesive on the shelf and I love it. Below that, this is probably genre-wise my favorite shelf. We're in between this and sci-fi, but the last 2 years I probably pulled towards fantasy a lot more. This is my fantasy shelf. Let me remove this frame real quick so that you can see. So what I've done with this shelf is I've stacked my thick paperbacks, and then I've put my hardcovers on top of that because I feel like the paperbacks can take a lot. I don't have to worry about like dust jackets ripping, etc., etc. And then I don't keep paperbacks anyway. I like hardcovers. So I plan to eventually get rid of the paperbacks regardless. this? This is a shelf where I'm running out of room because I wanted this bottom shelf to be like straight SJM because she has 3 very large series. But because I ran out of room on my fantasy shelf, I've had to like start adding to the SJM shelf to make room because I just don't want to stack my hardcovers. I don't like that. I also have like the Spiderwick Chronicles. Love that. The vibe right here in this specific section is so stinking cute. I have like a little Christmas tree and everything. Behind that, I've also have like some stacked paperbacks and then some more fantasy books that I want to read, but a lot of these are like ones that I know I'm not going to keep the copies. So that is this. I actually don't know where I want to put this frame, but she's chilling right there right now. The 2 shelves below this, which you can't really see, but I'm going to explain it to you anyway because it plays a part in my TBR. I didn't really think of this before, but I didn't separate them yet. I want to have a DNF shelf. All of the books that I'm currently, I want to say soft DNFing because I intend to finish reading them. So I want to have a soft DNF shelf, and then I want to have a shelf that has all the books that I took from my mom and her bookshelf, because there was like a point last year where I was trying not to buy more books, but I wanted the feeling of bringing books home, so I raided her bookshelf. So I have a lot of books that are added to like a reading list, you know, a little TBR. I don't know if I'll read all of them, but there are a lot that I want to read, so we'll see. I'm kind of gonna play it by ear. Oh, and then at the top, you also can't see, this is my Cruel Prince special edition by LitJoy. She's gorgeous, you already know. And then the rest of it is just like decorations. If you want to see that, you can let me know, but like I wasn't really planning on showing that. Let's move on. Every year, I obviously make resolutions, but I also make book resolutions. First up, to reach 150 followers on both book socials. This year, I'm starting off the year with 130 Instagram followers and 136 TikTok followers. Now, will we be having TikTok this year? Who knows? Probably not. By the time that this is posted, it's probably gone, so I'm not worried about it. Second, I want to read all the unread books on my bookshelf. This, girl, that's a lot. That's hopeful, considering I've read like less than half of the books on this shelf and I don't have a lot of time to read. Number 3, finish my DNF pile. I feel like this is doable. It's not a lot. It really isn't a lot. I am like not quick to DNF a book. But there are just sometimes where, you know, you just don't want to read that genre, aren't in the mood for that book, or maybe it loses your interest half of the way. But I want to know the ends of these stories, so they are all soft DNF'd. I don't even know if I would call them DNFs because at this point I would have to start all of them from the beginning because I completely forgot. I've probably DNF'd them like 1.5 to 2 years ago. I don't know why I never finished them. Number 4 is to finish all my ongoing series. Now, I think I can do this. I'm currently in the middle of only 2 series, I think, which is ACOTAR and the Atlas 6 series. I have 1 more book in the Atlas 6, so obviously it is very doable. And then I have to read the 2nd book of ACOTAR again, but after that I have however many is left from there. So I've only like just started the ACOTAR series. I've read the 1st book twice. I'm about to read the 2nd book twice. I'll probably honestly read all of them twice because you miss so much the first time that I just give it a little bit of time and then I go back and I reread it, which I'm fine with. As for ongoing series, I'm gonna be adding a lot more. I want to reread The Maze Runner. I want to reread The Hunger Games. I still have to finish Zodiac Academy. I have 1 book left and I'm not like jumping to read it either because the Beyond the Veil book killed me. Took me like 8 months to get through because it was just so boring. And so like, I'm not jumping for joy to read 9, but also I want to finish the series so bad. And I don't think it'll necessarily be a bad book, but I'm just like it just, I don't know. Oh, I also never finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I forgot about that. I have all the books, but I have As Good as Dead left to read. All the other series I can think of, like I have to start from the beginning, like Red Rising. I read the first 4, I think, but that was like in 2019, 2020, and haven't touched them since. And I haven't completely forgotten what happens, but I forgot what happens. So I need to start from the beginning because I think everyone is praying that Red God comes out this year, but I don't think it will. But if it does, it'll be in like December 31st. But I want to be prepped at least because I think I'm going to drag it out and take the whole year to read the series so that by the time 2026 comes around and Red God is dropped, is it in 2026? I hope it's not in 2027 because I'm gonna be screwed. Anyways, but the next time the book drops, drops, I want to be like fresh still in the mind. I want to start a lot of new series, so this is, I think, going to be a little more difficult of a task in a couple of months. We shall see. I'm normally pretty good with series though. I don't like starting series and then stopping them to read other things. I normally just go right through it. Okay, number 5, fifth goal is to get a library card, which I already did, and I already used it, and I already read the book. I think I've completed at least one task this 2025 season. And then the last one is the 1-year book buying ban. Listen, I ain't stopping cold turkey. There's a lot of great books coming out this year that I will not be missing out on. I'm not going to deprive myself of that. But otherwise, I really just don't want to be buying new books because I have so many that I need to read. So we're doing this in hopes that I will not buy any or buy many new books that I don't need this year in 2025. We have some exceptions. First exception, if I need to buy a book to finish a series or to continue reading a series. Obviously, I don't have all the ACOTAR books. I buy them as I go. I will be buying for that. Second exception, if I'm replacing a paperback, because like I said, I like hardcovers. If I have a paperback of something and I find a nice hardcover that I like, I'm buying the hardcover and getting rid of the paperback. This is a lot of books, but it's not such a large amount that I can't keep track of what I have. I'm pretty aware of like what books I have in paperback and what books I have in hardcover. And then the third one is if it's a new release by a favorite author. V.E. Schwab is coming out, as everyone knows, with a new book. I'm getting it. And then I'm also getting Rachel Gillig's new book because I love the One Dark Window duology and I'm really interested in what her new book is, as well as R.F. Kuang's new book. Those are the 3 for sure. I know I'm going to be buying this next year. And then, you know, I'm not going to stop myself from perusing a bookstore every now and then. But I'm hoping that the library card will help with the book buying limitations. Yeah. Just being able to go to the library is kind of like the same vibe as going to a bookstore. I like that I can take something home and then if I hate it, like I don't have to keep it and I don't have to sell it for a lower price and just give it back. So I think it's going to open the door for me to read a lot more books this year and I'm very excited. Okay, moving on. This year, I got a reading journal. This is what she looks like. She is gorgeous. I got this from Papier. It is hardcover because like I said, we don't like paperbacks or soft covers in this house. I don't know if you can see. Yes, you can. Reading journal. There was a spot like right in the middle that I could have put something. I really wanted to put 2025 reading journal, but I didn't know how thick or thin this was going to be. And I don't know, I've never done a reading journal before. So I don't know how many pages I'm going to take up. So I didn't. I just put reading journal, which I think is perfect. So to personalize the cover, the plan is to take like a bookish little Polaroid of me and like tape it right to the front, okay? Anyways, inside, she's bullet journaled. I've kind of started to label the pages how I want my journal to be laid out. It actually will probably be done in later January because I didn't even get this book until like January 2nd. So I didn't have all of December to set up a journal for 2025. And I want to take my time with it. I want to be creative and fun. I do keep a digital reading journal on my Notion. We have all the books that I've read that month, the word count, the ratings, the reviews, the whole 9. It's all there in my digital reading journal. I just wanted to like physically have one and then be like artistic and stuff. Like I bought stickers, washi tape, all kinds of stuff. I got stuff saved in my Pinterest. I'm ready for this. I'm excited. I talked a lot. I'm out of breath. Moving on. When it comes to my TBR, I really try not to have one. I'm really bad about staying on top of TBRs. So when it comes to having a TBR, I just tend to not have one. I just have the books on my shelf and I read from that. But because I have so many books on my shelf that I haven't read, I don't need to buy more books. I need to start reading the books on my shelf. Therefore, we will create a TBR every month comprising of at least 4 books that I will try and read. Now, will I stick to this? I don't know, because my work schedule is not like 9 to 5 every single day. I do freelance and this is not the freelance, but I do freelance part-time and then the other half of the time I'm working in an office. So I don't always have a lot of time to read. I really can only dedicate it to nights or like the random day that I have a free time. And a lot of the times whenever I have free time, I don't want to sit and read. I probably have to clean the house or do my laundry or just, you know, basic life maintenance that I have to take care of before I can actually sit down and read. Whenever I do get to read, I don't get to read for a long amount of time. So I try to keep my amount of books to like 2 a month at the least. Like if I can at least get through one, hopefully it's because it was a hectic month, which is good. But if I could get through 2 a month, that would be like the goal. 4 a month is a dream. I just don't have enough time in the week to like read an entire book in a week, unfortunately. And then also now that I'm getting into lit fic a lot more, I have to take it a lot slower, you know, because sometimes I just really gotta be thinking really hard and focusing whenever I read. Unlike some fantasies where I can just kind of like go, you know, because a lot of the time it gets a little similar. But with lit fic, it's very like personal, emotional. I mean, we're going into it, you know, we got big vocabulary here. My reading speed tends to be a lot slower with lit fic, and I've been reading a lot more of it, so that means I'm reading less books and I can't dedicate a lot of time to them. It's just really difficult. So to rectify this, I'm kind of like tweaking what exactly is going into my TBR. I wrote this down. Where's my phone? Let me see. Wait. Where did I put that? Okay, now the issue with TBRs. I'm a mood reader. I don't always know what the next book that I want to read is going to be. I don't know what genre it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be, I want to read this specific author. I want to read about death. I want to read about fairies. I want to get my heart broken. I don't know. So I kind of just go based on how that mood is. So I am going to be setting this TBR list to what mood I currently am in, because my mood doesn't change every time I finish a book. My mood changes like every month, every 2 months, every 3 months. You know, like whenever the mood feels satisfied. Recently, I was like, I need a book that's going to make me cry. Did it. Read Hello Beautiful, sobbed the entire time. But still, I was like, I feel like I need another sad book. So what did I read? Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Didn't cry. Heartbroken though. But yeah, it was satiated after that. And then I kind of just moved on to something else. Now I still want a little more depressing books, which is why one of the books on my TBR is what it is. Oh, actually, it might be why a couple of books are what they are on my TBR currently. Okay, anyways, it's also getting colder, so I want wintry books, depressing books, you know, stuff like that. I'm not really feeling like fantasies too much, maybe like if they're on the dark academia side. Anyways, the 4 books of my monthly TBR are gonna consist of very specific things. The first thing, one of the books has to be from my DNF pile because I really want to get through it. I don't have many. I wanna say it's like less than 12, which means that's like 1 DNF book a month. I think I can do it, and I think I can get through the pile. But we're gonna see. The second book has to be a book specifically from my bookshelf. The options, they're almost endless. So I think we'd be good on that. Now the issue there, I don't have a lot of short books. A lot of the short books I have, I've already read, and a lot of them are thrillers. And I use thrillers or horrors as palate cleansers. If I read like a fat fantasy book, I need a thriller after it. Because I'm like, okay, I want to read something, but I can't do the magic system anymore. I need to read about someone trying not to get unalived. Okay, so in that case, a lot of the horror and thriller books I have, I've already read them because they're palate cleansers. So I think where it's gonna get difficult for me is picking books from my shelves because they're all pretty large and pretty high page count. And then on top of that, I think I've read pretty much every simple book on my shelf that is not YA, you know? Yeah, just looking at it, I already know it's gonna be hard. But okay, regardless. The third book on the TBR has to be a book from my mom's shelf because I need to get these books back to her. They're taking up room on my shelf and I don't want them there anymore. I have a lot. And what I think I'm gonna do, listen here. Either if I finish my DNF pile quicker than I am predicting to, then I'm gonna read 2 books. Then I'm gonna read 2 books off my mom's shelf a month to like replace that DNF pile pick. Or if I have a big book, if I got a big book, then I might pick 2 small books from my mom's shelf because she does have some smaller ones. They're right there. I think that's what I'm gonna do because I have so many books from her shelf. Like I cleaned her out pretty well. And then the last book has to be from the library. I was like, I'm gonna use my library card if I got it, even if that is 1 book a month. So I think we're good. Also, the thing with the library is I can get graphic novels. I think this is gonna be the best loophole for me because technically I am still reading a book and they're good. You know, I got one that means something, but it's a little quicker to get through. That's why I read it in a day. And I'm counting it, baby. Okay. For my January TBR, I have 2 books already picked out and I need 2 more books. So I'm gonna show you the 2 books that I have and then we're gonna pick out 2 more books, okay? Let's go. These are the 2 books that I have picked out so far already. The first one is And Now I Spill All the Family Secrets by Margaret Kimball. I read this already. This was my library book. It is a graphic novel memoir comprising of like diary entries from Margaret Kimball and her life of being a sister and a daughter to family members with mental illness. I Really, really enjoyed it. And let me preface with this. I will never give a memoir anything under 5 stars because I don't ever want to invalidate someone's life experience. It's never about the quality of the writing, the storytelling, Like, it's that I read this person's life and I acknowledge that it happened and I acknowledge that they experienced it this way, and I heard them. However, this was also a great book. I'll give you like a quick flip through. So that is like some text, some graphics here going. So this whole book is in black and white. I cannot tell you how bad I wanted to color it. Whenever I was reading, I was like, oh my God, this is literally a coloring page. This is a chapter page. Love. There's even like little touches of like family mementos in here. This is a picture painted by her aunt who had passed away in her childhood. Redrawn family photos, which were so beautiful. And then I'm pretty sure this was all written and illustrated by Margaret Kimball, which, girl, props to you. Couldn't be me, because I literally can't draw. Also, one of my favorite things, and I had to keep turning back to it because obviously the deeper that you get into the memoir, the more you're going to want to know who is who came from who, But she included a family tree, which I really liked. And then this is a table of contents. It includes the chapter number, the chapter title, where they were whenever this happened, and then the year that it happened, and then obviously like the page that it's on. She does note with some graphics like what year it is. I just love that. Like there's like just a lot of small touches in this book that make it so personalized, I guess. I think I'm actually gonna get the hardcover version of this because it would be something that like I would read again or that I would want to like pass around to friends and family. The art was just so beautiful. I was like, this is something that I'd want to keep in my house. I just love memoirs though, so there's that. Okay, second one, obviously you can probably tell from the spine what it is. It's The Great Alone. Remember when I said I wanted to read depressive books? We know what she writes. I hope this makes me cry. Or maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what this book is about. I just know they go to Alaska. My mom actually read it while she was in like vacationing in Alaska. That fucking bitch. So I just have to imagine. Granted, I did go to Alaska before, so the imagery can be there. But I'm sure like the experience of like reading it while you're there in the woods, in the snow, in the river, you know, I'm sure that was really nice. And I would just want to experience that. It's fine. Anyway, this is a fat book. Do you see where I got nervous about the books on my bookshelf plus my mom's books? This is like over 500 pages. Yeah, this is almost 600 pages. So because of this, I got that graphic novel. Okay, so because this is so big, I got this that is a graphic novel and it's also big, but is like less than 300 pages and I read it in one night. I need to do the same thing with the books on my bookshelf. So I still have to pick a book from my bookshelf and I have to pick a book for my DNF pile. Now, I'm gonna grab all the short ones. Oh, my back. These are the books from my DNF pile that are small. What? This isn't small. Isn't this like 400 pages? Yeah, what the heck? This isn't small. Where do you? You're also 400 pages. Okay, but I could read this quick, I feel, because I've read half of it already. These are the books from my DNF pile that are small. And Red Queen is still almost 400 pages. I'm like more than halfway through this one, but I read it last year, but I think I'm okay because I still kind of remember what's going on. I have this much left, which I think is like 100 pages. But it's a, what is it, like a modern day classic? You know I gotta pay attention when I read this. I remember it was good, but I don't know. Red Queen, I was really, really, really enjoying. I got this far into it. That's it. That's how far into it I got. And then I stopped. That is like 115 pages. I think the reason I DNF'd this is because I was doing way too much with the annotating because I was trying to keep track of everything. I was like highlighting my favorite pages like on the side so that I could go back and like know. And then like everything that's dog-eared is like quotes because I didn't have tabs at the time. Why does this look like this? I don't even, like, I don't care. I don't care enough for that anymore. And what was I circling? What was I circling? What was I circling? Why would I care that much? I don't. And I don't annotate like, do you see this? What is that? That's notes. That's notes. This is everything important that happened in the last chapter. And then this, I was trying to keep track of what colors represented what houses. That was fair. You know, that's a fair note. Can I really not keep, like, when was I going back to read this? Yeah. I mean, it looks great. It looks beautiful. But oh my God, it's just too much. And I think that's why I DNF'd is because I was super into the story. I was super, super into it. I also spoiled it because I went on Pinterest. So there's that. I think that's also another reason why I DNF'd. With that being said, I think I'm gonna finish I really don't want to finish this. I literally got to chapter 2 and was like, what the actual F is this? I got 50 pages in. Now the thing about Mosh Fay is I can read her stuff really quickly. This is 300 pages, but first of all, it's small. The stories always move fast. Like I read Eileen very quickly, and I actually did not like that book until I watched the movie and I was like, oh, this movie sucks. The book was way better. Now, was it slightly, it's like half a point, and I think I rated the movie like a 2, so the book is like a 2.5. I just don't like Mosh Fay's writing. I don't like her characters. I don't like it, and which sucks because I really want to read Latvona. Because I had that experience with Eileen and I was like, okay, maybe I like the book more than I thought I did. And also, God forbid, I actually DNF a book. You'd have to pry it out of my dead hands and I'd still be like, oh, I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish it. I just want to finish it so that I can like have a true opinion on whether or not I hate her writing. I don't hate her. I hate her writing. And I can't make that opinion factual for me if I've only ever read one book. So I'm going to read this book, and then I'm going to read Latvona at some point this year. And if I hate both of them, I'm never buying another book by her ever again. It's as simple as that. So the reason I think I'm going to read this one, first of all, it's going to go fast. Second of all, I'm in the mood for like lit fic. I think it'll go pretty well with Great Alone because they're going to be, first of all, so different, so I can read them at the same time and not get the plots mixed up. But also, like, if I just get through a chapter of this a night, I can finish this in like 5 days. Because the chapter 1 was 50 pages long. That's a DNF book. We picked it. We picked it. It's been chosen. Now I need a book from my shelf. And it needs to be an easy book, okay? We already have Mosh Fay. I gotta pay attention whenever I'm reading that and make sure I don't miss something. I got Christian Hannah, The Great Alone, which I feel like it's gonna be easy to read. It's just a long book. So I can't have something that's too hard, and it's still gotta be short, and I think I've read all these books. Nope. But none of it sounds good. Okay, so what about back here? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I want a thriller. I think I was considering Alone with You in the Ether because I do enjoy Olivia Blake's writing a lot. Why is the font so small? Are you kidding me? I'm not reading this. I just finished Masters of Death before the year ended. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. And I really actually want to read One for My Enemy, but that's a 400-page book. I cannot. Oh! I think I might read this. This is an option. This is an option. Because it's YA, so I know I'm going to fly through it. Let me get another option just in case. Should I do this one instead? Okay, listen. I'm going to have 5 because these are going to be interchangeable. So I'm going to have Before the Coffee Gets Cold and Shatter Me as the books from my bookshelf. I don't know which one I'm going to pick, but it's going to be one of these 2. Let's go over what books we're reading this month. Here is the TBR pile for January. Let's get it down first. Done. First book of 2025, done. Now I have these. So far, I'm like to chapter 2 of The Great Alone, I'm liking it. Which is saying a lot because that's only like 10 pages in. So I think I'm going to continue reading this one today because I don't have anything to do. My boyfriend's out of the house. It's almost nighttime. You know how it is. And then I think I'm going to go in between that and Death in Our Hands because I really just want... I want this book out of my life. And then the next book is going to be one of these. Or maybe both of these. Who knows? I might be able to read 5 books this month. I don't know. I think if Great Alone satisfies my need for a depressive state and the feeling of sadness, and I cry, and I'm heartbroken after, I'm going to go for Shatter Me. If it does not do that, and it has like a happy ending, and it's all like, oh my God, that's so amazing, I'm going for The Coffee Gets Cold. Because I feel like I'm still going to need a little bit of sadness in my life, you know? And I think that this gets sad. I want to say I remember hearing people talk about that it was sad. But regardless. The only other thing I could think of that would make me pick one over the other is that if I'm in the mood for a fantasy, obviously I'm going for this one. And then that's it. That's the TBR pile. That's it. That's all I got. I'm tired. I've talked too much. I need to sit down and eat, honestly. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to share your TBRs below because... don't we just love adding books to the list? Honestly, I need more. Do I have 700 already on my TBR list? Yes, but I need more. So feel free to leave your TBRs below in the comments. Let me know what your first book of 2025 was, of course. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one, I hope. Bye.
stepped into a dream, but now I barely wanna sing. Well, my voice feels fast.
This is like too big of a pile for real.